Hey guys, welcome. My name is Niclas Huschenbeth and we're going to do another episode of Blitz and Talk. But today we're going to have a special because I'm going to play against one of my Grandmaster colleagues. So this is a GM special. GM obviously stands for Grandmaster. And I'm playing today against my UMBC chess team teammate Akshayraj Kore, and I will just refer to him as Raj, his nickname, because I'm not too confident with the pronunciation of his first name. But I'm really looking forward to play against him. 2 Blitz games, both times 4 minutes and 2 seconds increment per move. So let's go right ahead into the Chess24 play zone. Here we are, and I'm going to try and find him and challenge him. So I'm opening up my friends list right now, and here he is. Challenge me. Okay, and now we'll look for the right time control. Here it is, 4 minutes and 2 seconds, and we'll do unrated. And let's go ahead and challenge Raj. I'm really looking forward to this. Raj's a very nice guy. I'm very glad to have him on the team. He just joined the UMBC chess team 1 year ago in 2013, and he really improved the overall quality of the team. And he has now accepted the challenge, and here we are. And he started the game with e4, and of course I'm playing my favorite opening, the Sicilian, and I'm hoping for a nice knight-off variation. Alright. He's already considering what is he gonna do now, how he's gonna answer c5. He plays g3, and if I'm not mistaken, can I play with d5 here? I think so. I think this is the reason why most people start with knight c3 instead of g3 to prevent d5, because this is a little bit unpleasant. Well, not unpleasant, but I think black can easily equalize in this variation with d5. So now he plays knight c3, and I think I'm just going to build up the center, and maybe this is kind of favoring him because it looks like we're going to have a King's Indian structure now, and I'm not quite sure, but possibly he's playing the King's Indian with black, so this might favor him, but I'm confident I can play this position in a decent manner, and we'll see. I have obviously the nice space advantage now in the center, and it's quite easy for me to develop my pieces. Bishop d6, knight g7, bishop e6, and the question will be maybe whether I'm going to castle king or queen side. Alright, and he's spending a lot of time already early in the opening, probably trying to think about the exact setup of his pieces. I expect him to play with f4 at some point, probably right now, I mean. Because this is just the usual standard plan of white, to play with f4 and to somehow create something on the king side. But the problem here for him might be that I'm not going to castle king side, and so it's maybe difficult for him to develop an attack in the future. And this is why I guess he's now playing c4 to also gain some space on the queen side. The question is now, should I take this pawn en passant? That's really a question I have to answer right here. And I think I won't. I'll just keep it like that, that's okay, and just continue my development. Because then he would have taken back with the b pawn, and I think it just helps him to develop his pieces, and it's not benefiting me in any way. Okay, now he's playing f4, and I think I'll just support this pawn with f6, just to keep the pawn chain intact. And now I could play bishop to e6, or I could castle. Well, let's play bishop e6 first. So in case he plays f5, I can play the bishop back to f7. And obviously, still my plan is to play somehow on the queen side. I'm not sure if I'm still going to castle queenside like I planned before. I'll still consider that. I mean, but since I want to play with a6 and b5 in the future, I probably should castle kingside. But I'm just afraid that his attack might be coming at some point. Okay, since I'm slightly afraid he might close with f5 and play g4, h4 and so on after a castle, I just take on f4 first, because then he cannot really close the position down anymore after a castle. And now the question is, how is he going to take back on f4? If he takes back with the knight or bishop, he definitely gives me the square on e5. He can certainly take back with the pawn, and I kind of expect him to do that, but he doesn't. The advantage of taking with the knight is clearly that he can maybe play the knight to d5. So this could be his idea here. And I think I might have underestimated this a little bit. I'm not sure if I should have allowed this move knight to d5, but here I didn't really have a choice because I didn't want to give up my bishop on f4. So I clearly had to retreat to f7. Okay, so you can play knight d5 now. And plays bishop h3. This seems to be a pretty unpleasant move for me because he wants to put something on e6, and honestly I don't see a way really to prevent him from doing so. So very good move, and I feel like I'm forced now indeed to take on f4 because I couldn't give up my white square bishop. That would be a disaster. So I take on f4, so he cannot play knight or bishop to e6. Or, well, knight e6 was actually the biggest problem. If I had castled knight e6, I have to take. No, that's just terrible. So I had to take on f4. And I believe he's probably going to take back with the pawn. Because if he takes with the bishop, I can maybe play knight g6. And again, I have to square on e5. So he takes back with the pawn. And now finally, I finish my development and I castle. And still my plan is to play with a6 and b5. Nothing has changed about that. I'm not too happy that I lost my bishop here, but I think it's not too bad either. And he's now bringing his queen to the king side. Definitely makes sense, and I just stick to my plan because I have to create counterplay myself too. One big advantage of here in this position is clear that I'm up on time. He's only having 23 seconds. That's really not a lot of time, and I just continue with my plan on the queen side. He just keeps everything sound, plays b3. That makes sense. And now I have to think about how am I going to strengthen my position. I think I'll take on b4 on c4 and then occupy the b file, so I can maybe create some problems here on the b file. So for example, if he moves the bishop now, then I could enter on b2. So he plays king h1. And now I could also think about knight b4. I'm a little bit afraid he's going to mate me, so I just play king h8. So in case he plays rook g1, I can play rook g8. Just having everything safe here and not being mated. So now he plays e5. Alright, I think its position is going to heat up a little bit. I could keep everything close with f5, but this gives him this nice square on g5. So let's see what we can do here. I think I just take once on e5 and then maybe play bishop g6, something along these lines. He plays knight g5 right away. Okay, this is very interesting. Bishop g6, f5, I have to watch out about that. So let's see what can I do here. I can play my bishop to h5 on the other hand. But still, it all looks a little bit dangerous. So do I have a safe alternative here? That's what I'm looking for. Position becomes dangerous for me, and I have to play a move so I'm not getting down on time too much. So I play a very strange move here, queen f8, to protect the bishop, and now I'll play bishop g6. Okay, and now I can bring my knight into play. So he attacks my knight on c6, so I will move this knight. Or actually, I'll play knight h4, because if he takes on c6, I can take on f4. He plays the queen back. Alright, okay, I have to play knight f5 back, and we're both very low on time, and this is going to be now incredibly sharp and difficult here for both of us. This is just very intense now, and just a crazy position with so little time on the clock, and it's going to be just crazy. I mean, it's just wow. But so far I'm not too... Oh no, I blundered. Did I blunder? Possibly I just blundered a piece. I think so. Well, I'm still trying, and maybe I'm going to get the piece back, but maybe not. And he's just keeping everything protected. What am I going to do now? I give a check and attack this knight again. And maybe we're going to have a draw now, because I don't see a way to continue here. So it's a draw. Very intense game. He played quite slow in the beginning, but even with little time on the clock, he still made very good moves, and I was just, with so little time, it was just crazy to play this position, just so much going on. I can't even tell exactly where we ran wrong. I feel like I was worse here, but honestly, I think the critical moment was here, e5. I think at this point somewhere it went wrong for me. Maybe the position is not too good for me anyway, but from then on I feel like I didn't always make the best moves. So very exciting game, and I'm looking forward to the next game now. I'm going to challenge him again, and this time I'm going to play with the white pieces. Alright, so here he is. Oops. One moment. Again 4 plus 2 seconds. And this time I'm going to be white. Alright, now I have to relax a little, calm down. That was really exciting. I mean, both with about 10 seconds on the clock. Super complicated position. But I think the draw was a pretty decent result in the end. Okay, so we're waiting for a moment for him to accept the challenge. I'm just gonna check real quick if he's up for the challenge, because he's not accepting right now. So I'm just going to check on Facebook if what's going on. If he's there, it would be great if we could play a rematch. So just bear with me. So just bear with me. Sorry guys. Maybe he's just drinking some water, or he went to the bathroom or something. But I would love to play another game with him. So, or maybe he's just analyzing the game himself right now. Okay, well, let's see if I can say some more words about the game while we're waiting. I'm still hoping he's gonna accept the challenge, and now he did. Okay, so it was worth the wait. I'm sorry about that, guys, but now we're back in the game, and I'm playing with e4. And what am I going to choose here? I think I'm going for bishop c4. I just like this move, especially in blitz games, because oftentimes a lot of sharp positions arise. It's not as, I don't want to say boring, but it's way more exciting than the Ruy Lopez with bishop b5. I also tried bishop b5 before I tried the Scotch game. I tried all kinds of moves against e5, because really this is it's very difficult to come up with something against e5. It's just a very, very solid move. And you see I'm trying to spice up the game with the evens gambit. I just sacrificed the pawn, and he accepted the challenge, and now he plays d6, which is a very solid approach. And I have to remember how things went. I think I can castle here. And I just looked at this position recently. There are some tricky lines, and I hope I can get him with something like that. So now actually I have a threat right now, d5, followed by queen a4, winning the bishop on a5. So I think he pretty much has to play bishop b6. I think that's the move he has to play. And then I'll follow up with queen b3, attacking pawn f7. And he plays knight f6. So that either means that I overlooked something or he did, because I'm just wondering what is he going to do after d5 now. Oh, actually I think I overlooked something, because oh yeah, you do it the other way around. You first play queen a4 with the threat d5, and I think that would have just won a piece, because now after knight e7, queen a4, he can play c6 and protect the bishop on a5. So that was just, I just played too fast. I should have started with queen a4 first, and I think I just would have possibly win a piece there. Maybe not, maybe I'm wrong, but that definitely would have been better, because here I'm not even sure if I have enough compensation for the pawn now. So that's just didn't turn out too well. But okay, of course I'm going to fight on, see what I can do. And he's just writing me, he's making fun of me writing me, I think GM Huschenbeth missed c6, and he's completely right. I definitely missed that, and it's quite a bummer. But of course I will fight on. I'll play bishop g5 and try to create something here, and possibly take on f6 if he allows me to do that. And I still think I have some compensation in this position, so it's not just I'm a pawn down and for nothing. But certainly it didn't, it wasn't my dream that this exact position that I would get that on the board. So I was able to give him a double pawn here, but it's really not too bad. And he's writing me now, I'm gonna attack on a g file. Okay, so I'm gonna watch out for that, but I'm not too worried yet. I'll play. This is just, it's not good, this position. I'm not happy. I'm not happy here. I play the queen back to c2. Queen was not really doing anything here anymore. And now he takes on d5. I take with the bishop actually, but yeah, now I think I'm just down a pawn without any compensation, so it will be really difficult for me. Also he has the bishop pair obviously, and I'm just clearly worse here. So let's see what I can still make out of this. And it's obviously easy to play for him as well. So he wants to play with e4 now, and I should prevent this in one way or the other. So I probably should play rook d1 to be able to answer e4 with knight d4. But he can play with f4, he can do a lot, and it's really unpleasant position for me. He plays bishop b6, obviously renewing this threat of e4, and this time, well, I guess my only chance to prevent it really is to play queen c3. I don't want him to play e4 and push away my knight here on f3. So I play queen c3. Now obviously he can't play e4 because his queen would be hanging. But he can, for example, play with f4 and play the bishop to f5. This looks really attractive for him as well. And of course I'm going to fight on, but objectively speaking, I think this is already close to being lost. He plays queen g7, and again he wants to play e4 so badly. I mean, you can just see it. He's up for e4. So I play knight to a3, so I can still, after e4, I can still play knight d4, and maybe I can do some with knight b5 or something like that. But also my pawn structure is kind of ruined, and he can just play bishop to c5, so nothing's probably going to happen there. So now he plays f4. I have to watch out with bishop h3 ideas. That's also in the air. Wow, that's just not a great position, but I'm going to fight on and see if I can do anything. For now I can certainly still defend, but I mean, I'm just down a pawn, so that's might be too much. Bishop g4. Yeah. Now this knight is pinned, so I have to watch out for e4 again. And and also f5, e4 is coming. Okay, so I just guess I play rook e1. Plays rook c8. Yeah, it's just a pain to play this position, honestly. I mean, just without hope for counterplay or anything, just waiting to be slaughtered pretty much. Just very difficult to play. I can maybe play knight d2, something like that. Yeah, I probably should play this next move. He can actually take on f3, I completely missed that, and take on c4. Would just win him another pawn. Yeah, I missed that. And he does that, and I'm just down another pawn. And it's just too much, too much. So I play knight a3 to at least obtain the c file, but obviously this is just hopeless, and my only hope here is that he's a little bit low on time, but as we know, he's gaining 2 seconds per move, so that's enough time for him obviously to manage to win this position. So he plays f5. I'm probably going to eliminate this bishop, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm down 2 pawns. So he wants to exchange queens. Since I still want to fight on a little bit, I play queen c3. I have to keep queens on the board, of course, otherwise there's no chance for counterplay whatsoever. So I play this move. Plays rook c8, a good move, because now if I take on c5, he can take back with the rook. So I just attack this queen for a moment. And he continues to play good moves, and that's very, very unfortunate. He's now playing queen to e2, threatening here. And what can I do? I should protect this pawn, but I don't have really a convenient way. I have to pretty much exchange queens here, but well, I'm just in this endgame with 2 pawns down, and probably the time to resign has come soon. But I'll just play on a little bit longer, you know. We're both low on time, so why not? I don't have anything to lose. But of course it's very simple for him to play as well. I mean, I don't have to tell you that. It's very simple for him. He's just improving his position, and I can just sit here and wait. That's pretty much what I'm doing. And now you can play bishop e3, and then I probably have to resign. He plays it even better. He takes on c1 first, now pins my rook. We end up with in a pawning game where I'm 2 pawns down, so this is the time to resign. Okay, that was unfortunate. I just made a mistake early on and missed this move c6. And I believe if I play queen a4 here first, he has to cope with this move d5, and it's not so easy, I think. I mean, for example, bishop b6, d5 lose a piece, and bishop d7, d5 lose a piece too, so he has to take on d4, probably. But here, this looks terrible, absolutely terrible for him. I mean, I can take back on d4, I can play e5. This just looks absolutely terrible, and I think I'm just clearly better in this position. So, lesson to be taken: don't play too fast, and just double check always your opponent's resources, because I was just too excited already here that I could win the piece right ahead, and I was wrong, and then I ended up in this position with a pawn down. I still don't think it was too bad. Maybe I should play a better move here instead of bishop g5. Maybe something like bishop a3 could be possible. Now threaten to take on d6, so probably bishop b6 or bishop c7. Let's say bishop b6. Or let's say bishop c7. That might be more decent to keep this pawn protected. But here you can see I still have something going for me. I mean, at least some ideas. Knight takes e5, some pressure at least on the d file, so that wouldn't be over yet. And what I did, yeah, was just pretty much hopeless, giving up my bishop, and I don't even want to talk about it. Well, I still hope you enjoyed it. I think especially the first game was very exciting, and I really much like this idea to play against other grandmasters and have some really exciting games. So if you liked it, then feel free to subscribe to me. Just click on the icon and then click on subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye.